Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Wolverine hooking up with other superheroes. It happens. A lot. And while it makes sense, he has increased longevity and all of that, and I guess people just can't resist that rage, aka animal magnetism. Wolverine is a powerhouse of a character, someone who can generate interest and sales, and of course, romance. I'm Sasha and these are the top 10 superheroes Wolverine has hooked up with. Let's get started. Number 10. Wolverine and Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers. So this is low on the list because it's kind of inferred. So through retconning, aka retroactive continuity or canon, Carol and Logan were given a shared backstory, this being that she knew him when she was in the Air Force Intelligence and he was in the Canadian Secret Service, and that the two did more than just get along. Sometimes they talk about their relationship in a way that implies that, well, it was hot and heavy. However, not all fans read it that way, so this can be a little bit contested as a no, they're just friends. Either way, it's a retcon that doesn't hurt anything, and it's cool to create more ties between characters, and while Carol has been bolstered of late, so it is hardly surprising. This one didn't really take off with most people, but for those who like past lovers now friends, you can always take a look at Carol and Logan. Number 9. Wolverine and Squirrel Girl. Keeping in the tradition of things that happened off panel, we have these two, but this one was definitely a romance, and a stormy one from the look of it. This occurred during the time period when Squirrel Girl was a babysitter for the Avengers, well, specifically for Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and their daughter. One day, Logan comes in, and she's all, "James, I thought we agreed we wouldn't see each other anymore." And then it's awkward because, well, he's on the team, so he has to be there. The two eventually find an even keel, but it's clear that, well, whatever they had ended badly. Also, then some fans went down a rabbit hole of, oh, was he her first? When did this happen? Ages? Wolverine? Why? Because these are the questions that people need to know. It keeps you up at night. The Squirrel Girl from this era is completely different from the one now, almost like from another dimension to be honest. Modern Squirrel Girl in no way would throw herself at Daredevil. Is that a good or a bad thing? You decide. Number 8. Wolverine and Hercules. So this occurred in an alternate universe on Earth 12025. James Howlett, aka Wolverine, is the governor of the Dominion of Canada, also viceroy of Her Majesty's expedition to Shangri-La. He would come to find himself partnered with Hercules, and the two would become Earth's greatest heroes and also fall in love in the process. A forbidden love, cause Zeus, well, he doesn't want his precious son fraternizing with mortals. Do as he says, not as he does. That's Zeus's parenting style. This couple and the kiss they shared ended up being lauded by articles and the like from pop culture focused media outlets, who felt it was a step forward for representation. And of course, others are just here for tales on other Earths. It's a good time. Number 7. Wolverine and Emma Frost. But not really. Back to the main verse Wolverine, we have him and the White Queen herself, who by the way, is very well tied to Cyclops. But this was very much a sorta kinda mind trippy thing, which is par for the course with Emma. What it really was a case of cover bait, since well, Wolverine doesn't actually kiss Emma at all. In Astonishing X-Men number 14, Emma used her powers to project Logan onto Scott and Dark Phoenix onto herself, and kissed him like that. And then she transformed them so that Scott was Logan and then she was herself, and it was a whole thing. Scott was disgusted when he realized what was happening, the illusion broken when he looked in a mirror, and Emma proceeded to taunt him about always wanting to be Logan, the poster child of mutant cool, etc, etc. It was really messed up. But the cover was her making out with Wolverine. And they say YouTube is the king of clickbait. I mean, it still is, but other places do it too. It's a valid technique, you can just go to extremes. Number 6. Wolverine and ELEKTRA. Now in the MC2, these two have a daughter, Wild Thing. So can you envision the life path that takes ELEKTRA away from Matt and towards Logan? Yeah, actually. These two share a lot of traits and worldviews, and both are down to do exactly what it takes, but also have softer sides and tragic pasts. So yeah, once the appeal of versing the world wore off, these two settling down, here for it. What about you? Number 5. Wolverine and Rogue. Now when most people hear that, they most likely think of the Fox X-Men movies, where Rogue was de-aged and had quite the crush on Wolverine, even after he stabbed her. But he gave her his healing factor, so it was fine. But in the comics, these two have had romantic encounters as well. So Wolverine and Rogue were exposed to the Golgotha, which amplifies the emotions you already feel on the inside. You know where this is going. No one ever feels like this really need a sandwich or that they want to take up golf. No, what was revealed here was that these two had a deep, passionate desire for one another, and they made out, cause Rogue can't touch people until she can. This was one of those, yep, that sure happened, cause Rogue and Gambit are viewed by most as endgame. And when she steps out, it tends to be with Magneto. Number 4, Wolverine and Black Cat. We're heading over to the mangaverse, though I'm sure mainverse Felicia would consider this. Yeah, she would. Peter would cringe, but I mean, that doesn't take much, does it? So the Marvel Mangaverse had very different characterizations than the main one. Wolverine was old with energy claws. Black Cat had a costume slit to rival Catwoman's, and she's a cyborg. So this is more of an interest type deal, and more here for the Mangaverse shout out. Well, if you're into that style, then this just may be for you. Number 3, Wolverine and Domino. Oh yes, these two have had a bit of an animalistic pull towards each other. It goes into detail about how they can smell each other's scent, which, I don't know, hot? These two tend to fall into bed with each other, but it's not much more than that. These two have an understanding about one another, and they have similar mindsets, and a very okay, let's do this attitude, and have both been members of X-Force and the like. They move in the same circles. These two actually had a little mini together called Sex and Violence, so well, I think that tells you the wavelength that they're on. Number 2, Wolverine and Storm. This is a huge couple. It actually rivals her and T'Challa in some circles, although I know for some that's blasphemy to even say, but it's okay. You can like both. We can like different things. Now this was a couple that would creep up in the early X-Men days post Storm's introduction in the 70s. Storm was always highly intelligent, competent, and well, leader-esque. It's how she ended up leading the team. But some were drawn to the idea that she would like a rougher and more instinctual partner at times. And this really picked up when she divorced T'Challa. Who was there waiting in the wings, ready to rebound? Logan. These two just have an ease with each other, and they have fun. It's one of those, what? Why? But then you think about it. I mean, or you still hate it, that's possible too. No judgment here. And finally, in at number 1, Jean Grey. You knew it was coming, you were just waiting. We couldn't leave the iconic Wolverine romance off this list between him and Jean Grey, sometimes the Phoenix. Since the start, Logan has been drawn to Jean and her to him, though it was always more of a question of how much and was it more than Scott when it came to her. However, post House of X, there's been some throuple hints. If you look at their living quarters, you'll see that they're all connected. Hers, Scott's, and Logan's, and nobody else's. People noticed, I noticed. I'm here for it if it's true. But back to classic Logan and Jean. These two's relationship has been complicated and marked by deep affection, but also by all of the many horrific X-Men timeline occurrences, such as Jean's death. And then there was the time travel, him meeting young Jean and a whole bunch of other happenings that made people reevaluate some of the stuff. But no matter what the canon is doing, everybody tends to view this as an iconic couple. Every adaptation tends to pay homage to this couple in some manner, and most tend to have an opinion on it. What's yours? Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. I'm Sasha, and please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe so that you never miss a vid. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.